Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. What do we got today, Rick?
We got the Week 14 news and injury report.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
What's poppin'?
You just sat in front of the camera, pointing at the camera for like 4 seconds, waiting for it to start.
Dude, I was watching this, completely unrelated. I was watching this TV show last night.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what I was waiting for to come on because it would make me sound completely unmanly. But when you get married, you'll find out because your wife will make you watch these TV shows.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yep.
So there was a television show on before this show came on, and I don't even know what it was called. I think it was 25 Words. I don't know. It was like a game show, but it was like a social distance game show over here. So they literally like I've watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and like they have the same people in the same room. They're just slightly separated. And this one, they were all like in different like recording areas of the building. And it was just the most awkward, like there's no crowd noise, nothing. It was just the most awkward reality game show that I've ever seen in my life.
And you're going to watch it again?
No. Well, see, I was like, this is trash. And then at the end, they did like this whole like question thing when you throw out a word and you're trying to describe another word. I was like, wow, this is actually entertaining. And I was like, don't say that. It's garbage. It's garbage television. I'm sorry for any people who actually watch 25 words or whatever it's called.
You're going to watch it again.
I don't even know what we're talking about. Oh, the show? Yeah. See, that's how fast my brain melts. But
that's
anyway,
why you're going to watch it again.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Morgan Colby.
You good? You dying over there? Heart
I
attack?
got Rick Lemon with me as always.
What's up, dude?
It's my hypertension.
Okay.
No. So today we have news and injury report. This is going to be a quickie. Friday quickie.
Good. Because you got places to be.
Yeah.
I got food to eat.
I know. I guess. Well, yeah. So it is a shorter episode.
It is.
And then I say that and it's like 10 hours.
That is true. You've said that before. Then we did like 55 minutes. So just let's banter.
You know, I was thinking about it. Before we started recording. This week, after this episode, and after you listen to this episode, there is going to be, you got to watch Football Sunday, but the next time you listen to our podcast, there'll only be 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
And then we switch to 2 episodes a week.
Yep.
My brain unmelts. And then we had to digest what just happened during COVID season.
Dang. We got a lot to digest too.
It's going to be all over the road.
Yeah.
Next, I think we just need to throw 2020 out as a season and just
reset.
Because it has been a weird year. I wonder how many of these rookies are going to be like Justin Herbert has benefited from having no crowd. How is he going to adjust to having like 40 million, 50,
True,
60
but
million
then the other way you could say it.
What, did I say million? I meant 60, 70,000, not million.
You could say it like that, but then you could also say, is it going to benefit him from having a real training camp?
Yeah, that's true.
And not being on
You know
Hard
what I
Knocks?
noticed? A lot of the running backs this year, it took them like Sanders. It took them, not Sanders, who was it? There was one running back. It took them like 4 weeks just to get
a lot of them.
A lot of them
Swift.
Did. I don't know.
Akers.
I can't remember. I was looking at
Dobbins,
one
Clyde, Taylor.
Any of them.
All of them.
Not just the rookies,
Clyde was
like
good
just regular players. It took them like
True.
It took them like 3 to 4 weeks just to get into the groove. And then it was like, I mean, guys were performing, but anyway. So we have the news. Before we jump into that, check out our website at thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter at the FFChamps, on Instagram at thefantasychampions. Like us at facebook.com/thefantasychampions. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platform, be sure to subscribe, ding, click the bell on YouTube, and then comment down below if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, subscribe, leave a review, share this podcast with your friends, all the good stuff. You ready to talk about the news?
Yeah.
I feel like I just had a brain fart. Like reading the show notes backwards.
Dude, these 3 shows a week are really getting to you, huh?
4. It's 4.
See? They're getting to me, too.
Can't even remember what day.
Yeah.
I'm just pumped. Oh. Funny bone.
Man, we are a mess today, huh?
Real professional production. You didn't come here for professional production.
No, you came
here for two freaking idiots talking about fantasy football.
football.
Maybe you win this week. Maybe you lose this week.
No, you're going to win. Confidence. Let's go.
Okay. Anyway, I'm just pumped to watch football Sunday. I think we should watch it together because we're playing.
We could. I don't know.
I'm gonna be triggered. If you start beating me, this is gonna be like maybe 80. It's gonna like 80%. It's just a staff league.
If I lose to you, I'm like, great, higher draft,
and I'm like, get the frick out of my face.
No, it won't be great, but I'd rather lose to you than the next round.
That's true.
If I'm gonna win, I gotta win it all.
Yeah, but that would only be the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah. But I'm saying if I beat you, I better win it all. Because I'm not trying to get the ninth.
I mean, we've been basically the same record all year. I think he has one more win than me. And
if I won this week, I would have had 2.
Yeah, I should have won this week too, but Chase Claypool scored like 2 points. And Terry McLaurin scored like 4. So good for me. Anyway, let's jump right into the news and the injury report for the week. We're just going to blow through this, and then we'll end the show, and you guys can go on your merry way and enjoy your weekends. So the Philadelphia Inquirer reports that the Eagles coach Doug Peterson he's no longer calling plays on every offensive play. I don't know what that means, but he could have give up more responsibility moving forward. I don't know. You're just a garbage coach in a garbage organization.
I was gonna say that's kind of.
You remember
true,
Grease the Poles? Grease the Poles, something like that.
You really hate the Eagles, huh?
I hate the Eagles. I've always hated the Eagles. I love Carson Wentz though. New England Patriot for life.
I don't know about that.
They're gonna get rid of him.
$35 million a year.
How many options we're gonna have? Freaking Cam Newton's.
I tweeted about this, but or somebody tweeted about it, and I retweeted it.
They're not gonna trade him. They're gonna cut him.
Probably, but one team that could make the trade that would be very good, I think, for him and potentially the organization. It's a good flyer. The Colts. They have the third most cap space.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have the cap space to make a trade if they want.
We're gonna end up with Rivers. You better not hope that happens.
If the Patriots sign Phillip Rivers, I'm not a Patriots fan.
Oh, and Frank Reich's offense, that would be great. That would be awesome.
That's what I mean. It's Frank Reich.
Get him far away from
offensive line.
If Doug
good.
Peterson has a job next year, I would be.
T.Y. Hilton could be rejuvenated too because he's a vertical guy. So it's like the opposite.
Yeah. But I is it a good thing that Doug Peterson's giving up play calling at this point?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I don't think it makes a difference.
It doesn't make a difference, but if it does, then it's a yes.
Sometimes it's just the guy drawing the plays.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Houston Chronicle expects Texans to re-sign Will Fuller, which is good news.
I was going to say
Texans.
There was a lot of trade rumors that they wanted to trade Will Fuller like at the deadline. They were going to trade him and stuff. The whole time I'm like, why? You just traded DeAndre Hopkins.
Why would you get rid of your other Bill O'Brien was running the team and then they fired him?
Yeah, no, that was a good move. They should sign Will Fuller.
I think they need. I honestly, I think there's other options out there. I think they're just going with the guy that's safer. But there's going to be some wide receivers on the market this year that they can pick up, and Allen Robinson.
Fair, but I mean, I think
I have a lot of hopes for this.
Will Fuller's good too, though. Like I think that's a good re-sign.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah.
With Deshaun Watson,
it would be
give Deshaun Watson some weapons.
Allen Robinson, Will Fuller. Because Cooks is not. She's a free agent, correct?
I don't know.
He's been traded like 6 times.
Yes.
Honey, I was traded again.
Literally every year he gets traded.
He's going to get traded again, I guarantee it.
And then they sign Allen Robinson.
Trade him back to the Patriots, and the Bills like 5th round pick.
I'd take it.
And they spent what, a second on him or first?
I think they spent first.
Deandre Swift was limited at Wednesday's practice, which is good news for him to play. We talked about this a little bit yesterday.
Yep.
I would say that probably means he's going to play this week. If he's limited on Wednesday, he'll probably be a full participant by Friday, and a news report will come out and say that maybe, you know what, next year, I don't know if we have time to do this, but we should just, that like 4 o'clock every week, there's like a flurry of news that comes in about who plays and who doesn't. We should just do a live show during that time.
Oh, yeah, on Friday.
Yeah. But anyway, so Swift is probably going to play this week. This is an interesting piece of news. Doesn't retain to fantasy football at all, but I thought I'd throw it in there. Like Garrett Blunt retired from the NFL after 9 seasons. When was the last time he took a snap in the NFL? Why did he wait this long?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he play last year? I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
9 seasons. Shows you how long running backs last.
He's a good player, though.
Yeah. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll said Rashad Penny will return to practice this week. That's good news.
Love it.
I don't know if he is. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be activated off the PUP, but and I don't know if that means he's going to play this week or next week or whenever that happens. They're just going to get him on the field, so that's a good sign for Rashad Penny. It would be sad if this whole season was lost. They're going to make the playoffs, though, right? Seattle? Maybe not.
It doesn't look great.
Friggin' weird season. They added more playoff spots, and somehow teams that are actually good are going to miss playoffs.
I don't know if Seattle's actually good, to be honest with you. I think Russell Wilson is good, and Jamal Adams. They have good players, but I don't think their team is good.
Interesting.
They have no depth at any. Like their defense blows. Russell Wilson's good. Metcalf is good. Jamal Adams is their only good defensive player, and that's about it. If their offense doesn't score, they won't win.
They got like 17 running backs.
They do have 17 running backs. I don't know if that's a good thing.
I saw this video earlier in the offseason. It was like a spoof of the NFL draft, and it was literally Pete Carroll sitting in a room, and he just was like, he sorted all of the players by running back position, and he was just like draft.
They used the first round pick on Rashad Penny.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's probably going to be their third running back when he comes back.
They just love it. And they used, what, the 4th round pick on DJ Dallas this year?
Yeah. Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I can't figure it out. I mean, unless they think, because Penny is, what is it, third years this year? Next year's 4th year?
Yeah.
So he would be a free agent going in
2022.
Yeah. So, like, I maybe they let him walk.
Okay, but why take a running back this year if you're going to let someone walk in 2 years?
Because you can train DJ Dallas behind Chris Carson and then bring him in a couple of years.
Well, then you could have drafted him this year.
That's whatever, man. I don't know. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says that Drew Brees is targeting a Week 15 return. It originally was going to be Week 14, and now they're saying Week 15, and they're not sure what's going to happen. So,
for Alvin Kamara owners, please. Just,
I know. Week 15, 16, you might have a league winner in Alvin Kamara over here.
But if Drew Brees doesn't come back,
I do feel like
toast.
Taysom Hill is figuring it out a little bit, though. Sort of.
Not with Kamara, though.
No, Kamara had a good week this week.
But it was all on the ground.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think he had like one catch. With Brees out there, he literally gets like 10 targets a game.
Yeah, that's not good.
With Taysom Hill, he gets like 2 to 3 targets a game.
This goes to show you, though, exactly what Alvin Kamara needs to have success. I was trying to find his name.
I was going to say, but he was good with Winston. When the game Winston played, I think he had like 6 targets.
Winston played a game?
Just anybody without or anybody but Taysom Hill, I think Kamara will be good. He didn't start a game, but he came in.
I really think that Taysom Hill is going to be the biggest mistake that the New Orleans Saints make.
I don't think it will unless they keep him like after this year and he's like the guy. Like if Brees retires and
No. I mean that's what I mean. Is if they move on to him next year as the main guy.
He's like Tim Tebow.
Fantasy wise,
it's great. I mean, because he runs.
Yeah, I read something that said since he became a starter for the Saints. He has, I think he's like the number 3 quarterback overall in fantasy football.
And a Saints fan on Twitter was saying that, like Taysom Hill's great and they're 3-0 and all this stuff. They beat the Falcons twice.
Yeah,
and then they beat the Broncos without a quarterback. That was the game where the Broncos had the practice squad wide receiver playing quarterback. So yes, Taysom Hill is 3-0.
I think they're using this opportunity to see if Taysom can win. I just hope they understand that they can't when it's just him.
Right.
I think they should have gave Jameis a couple games because unless they are like they see his workout videos like we do and go, oh boy.
I think Taysom Hill's okay though. I mean, I think he's dissing on him about calling him like Tim Tebow, but he's really not that bad.
He's not
if you've seen him throw the ball, like he can throw the ball. I think he
physically looks like a tight end at quarterback.
Yeah,
is what he kind of
a little bit,
which is what he is.
Great fantasy though. Again.
Ian Rappaport reports Colts quarterback Phillip Rivers will need off-season surgery on his foot. Goodness. He has a toe injury. He's going to play through it because he's a mammoth. Love Phillip Rivers.
He's going to be a starting quarterback somewhere next year, and it might be the Colts again.
Yeah.
Hopefully not the Patriots, but
Colts need to draft a quarterback and then sit him behind. I don't know why they didn't do it this year.
Yeah, there's talks that they
got Jacob Eason or
did I mention this on the? Oh yeah, Carson Wentz. So. Did I mention Carson Wentz already on the show, or was that off the show?
Yeah, yesterday. Or maybe it was on the show.
I'm just lost right now.
Anyway, we'll move on. Carson, he said Colts, something. Go ahead. Just say it.
I was just gonna say the Colts are probably gonna get some young quarterback in the offseason.
Yeah.
Whether it's draft or trade.
Frank Gore concussion has been ruled out for the remainder of week. Oh wow, he had a concussion. I don't know why I listed the week 13 thing, but he had a concussion in week 13. The reports are that he's not going to play. this week with the concussion, so it usually takes about 10 days to come out of concussion protocol or something like that. So I don't think he's going to play this week.
Right.
Miles Sanders, we talked about this on the last program, played only 56% of the Eagles' offensive snaps, his lowest total of the season.
Yep, that's gross.
In week 13 against.
We
the
told you
Packers.
last week about Sanders. You should probably be sick going forward.
Ugh. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll said Chris Carson isn't 100% recovered from his foot injury that kept him out for much of November. Good news.
Good news,
More,
yeah.
more
Very good
Seahawks news.
Love those Seahawks news.
I just can't wait for Penny to come back and then Carson to have another injury.
Oh,
And then Penny to have another injury. And then them just go to DJ Dallas, which is what they want to do anyway.
That's what they did in like week 5. Carlos Hyde, Chris Carson, and Penny were all out.
I think it's funny that they signed Carlos Hyde. You know, next to complete the tour around the NFC.
Yeah.
I think Adrian Peterson should just go.
I
I think he should just go to the Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks, yeah. That's a perfect fit. Wow. That's where he's going to play next year.
Totally.
100%.
Well, Swift is getting like freaking 78 touches a game.
Or he splits with Carry-On because it's the
See,
Lions.
they're a team that understands. Well, you know what? Maybe they don't because, well, they throw it to Hawkinson, so I'll give them that. But they're a team that kind of understands that you need to use your talented players.
They don't throw to Hawk enough, though. They really don't.
No, they don't. No.
They do throw it to
Not for what they spent on him. Like, that was the
No.
dumbest pick of all time. Thank you, Detroit.
top 10 pick, right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the dumbest pick of all time. I think
He's a good player. It's just
it was a little overpayment.
right.
NFL Rappaport, Ian Rappaport, he NFL Networks, Ian Rappaport. Did I say NFL Rappaport? Because I feel like that should be his tag on
That would be cool.
Rappaport NFL. Anyway, he said that DJ Moore will be placed on reserve COVID-19. This is not
Curtis Samuel
a COVID-19. Yeah, that's what everyone thought. And then Curtis Samuel was placed on COVID-19.
Oh, he was
Reserve list as well.
Oh,
See, it's right there.
Robbie Anderson season.
He kind of fell off a cliff, huh? But no, they said that this is not related to COVID-19. Where Curtis Samuel's is, I believe DJ Moore's is not. He had an injury.
Oh, so it's just a
I feel like
legitimate injury. You can do that.
I don't know. I have no idea. I was reading why he was placed on this list, and all Roto World was giving me is the fact that he got hurt on Sunday in some way.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, can you use that list for that, or what is this? So anyway, and then I'll delete this out of the list so I don't repeat it. But Curtis Samuel has been placed on the injured reserve COVID-19 list as well. Somebody in the
McCaffrey getting 15 targets this week.
Like a bunch of players tested positive. Not a bunch of players, but a couple players tested positive for the Carolina Panthers on Monday, and then they shut down their facility. And I think that Curtis Samuel was exposed, and they don't know if the players are actually positive or not. Or something.
Okay, so he could play then.
I feel like we've been through the whole season and no one knows what to do with COVID. Like, there's 3 vaccines. Just buy 2,000 of them and just start shooting the players. I'm telling you right now. Everyone's like, oh, you got. I'm not saying don't give it to the nice workers who work in hospitals who need them and the old people,
the people that actually
and
need
the
them.
old people.
The people who
But the NFL's hella rich. Just throw some weight around. Get some vaccines for these NFL players. Then Odell won't complain. He's not even playing anymore.
True.
Anyway,
What you would do if you were rich?
if I ran the NFL, I would.
Oh
I
my
would
gosh,
be like,
you know how many people would
I would
hate
be
you,
like,
though?
how much is the U.S. government paying per vial? Okay, double it.
Yeah.
Anyway, ESPN reports that Daniel Jones is expected to play in Week 14 against the Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's good news for Sterling Shepard, for Wayne Gallman.
Bro, you're hating on Colt McCoy?
Oh, he was bad last week.
And he threw like 90 yards and an interception and touchdown.
I might have to start Sterling Shepard this week, and I'm like, oh, if Colt McCoy plays, I gotta yank that kid right out of my lineup.
Yeah.
Anyway, if Daniel Jones plays, you might be safe to keep him in your lineup. Panthers coach Matt Rule also said he is hopeful Christian McCaffrey can return in Week 14 against the Broncos. Good news for Christian McCaffrey owners. If you held on to him in your fantasy playoffs, congratulations on your fantasy championship.
Yep.
He was also limited in Wednesday's practice. The Raiders coach John Gruden, he said that he doesn't expect Josh Jacobs to play Week 14 against the Colts.
Everybody that owns Jacobs
you know
in the
what?
playoffs,
Be
that's so
blessed.
tough.
Be blessed.
You know what? You're right, because he was playing against
He's
the
playing
Colts
the
and he was
Colts.
probably
It's a
screaming a
freaking
bust
trap
for a
game.
week. Yeah.
Trap game.
Because you have to start him because he's Josh Jacobs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then he goes out and gets 9 points against the Colts and loses you your playoff game. But now he's going to be on your bench.
In other news, at the running back position, Antonio Gibson got turf toe in the game against, what was it?
Are you sure I'm not sure it's guaranteed to be turf toe. I think that's just what people think.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, but anyway, he is unlikely to play week 14 against the 49ers as well. I would say this is also a trap game and be blessed that he's
Yeah, but Gibson, I mean, I don't know. He only had one touch against the Steelers, but he was like a 16-yard run. Like, I think he's borderline.
How high is too high for me next year on Antonio Gibson?
I think anything in the top.
Like, I was going to draft him in the top 5 at this point.
Yeah, I think that's too high. I love Gibson, but it's too high.
I hope he's like a second-round pick.
Yeah, I'll take him in the
Because
second round.
I would do that all day. But anyway, Falcons offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter said Todd Gurley is dealing with a knee injury. And he also said, I'm sorry, this is a complete other news. Let's stay on the Todd Gurley news. We talked about this earlier in the week. I thought we didn't have to listen to Dirk Cutter talk anymore.
I think Dirk Cutter also said that they plan on using him more this week.
Things the Falcons.
He said he's dealing with a knee injury, but
it's so funny because the Falcons only signed him to a 1-year deal, so they're just gonna they're like we're just
that's probably why they're gonna
blow him right into the ground, get every ounce of money, and they're not even gonna make the playoffs. So if I was Gurley, I'd just be like, screw you, I'm gonna go sit at home.
Coach Raheem Morris said Monday, so this was a while ago, but he expects Gurley to have a larger role during Sunday's road game against the Chargers.
Interesting. That's good news for Todd Gurley owners.
Yeah, because he's been awful last 3 weeks. Glad I traded him in every dynasty league right before that.
Chris Godwin underwent a procedure to have pins removed from his broken finger. He hasn't practiced since that happened. I don't know if he's going to be a go this week.
Yeah, if he is, he's a good play though.
Antonio Brown might be a stellar play.
Yeah, if Godwin is not playing this week, Antonio Brown is a must start.
Yeah, yep, I agree. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports that James Conner has no plans. He has plans to play against the Bengals. I was like, holy
complete
frick.
opposite of what you just said.
Complete opposite of what I said, but he plans to play this week against the Bills, which is good news for James Conner. It is a good matchup, so if you get James Conner back, just ride him straight to the next round.
Yep.
ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Eagles will bench Carson Wentz this week for Jalen Hurts.
We'll see how that goes. I think Hurts will do okay, but I really don't think
he threw a pick and a touchdown, so it could go either way.
Could go
exactly. Literally go either way.
Go either way. I think Doug Peterson's the biggest problem with that team, though.
Yeah, and I think he knows it now. What happened? From the Philly special to being one of the worst coaches in the NFL.
I have no idea. I think it's just one of those things where you're just there. I mean, he hasn't even been there that long, but sometimes a coach is just there long and just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
But he's only been there for
I think a lot of times too, people get figured out. Like smart coaches, like Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Bill Belichick. Those guys adjust.
Sure.
They change their team as the season goes along and as the years go along. Whereas guys like Doug Peterson don't adjust. They just do what they do and they lose.
Well, maybe that could be a second chance. If he gets a second chance, it's show that he can adjust. But as of right now, he hasn't.
Well, he's trying to.
And it's too late now.
Yeah. It's very, see, that's the sad part is that it's really not. Division's so bad. It
really isn't. But the Giants and Washington for some reason have been winning, and I think both teams are 5-7 now.
You know how happy I am? Pittsburgh's 11-1.
I know. I'm happy.
That's awesome. Adam Schefter, we already talked about that. Kenny Gallaudet didn't practice Wednesday.
Is he ever going to play again? Why did they just put him on IR? Man, I feel so bad for the Kenny Gallaudet owners. He literally has been like...
You can't justifiably drop him, but you will.
Who was the player? Was it Sean Jackson last year that was week to week from week 2 and then didn't play a game rest of the season?
I think that was AJ Green.
It was somebody, but he's this year's version of that.
Yeah.
He has been week to week since week 4.
I don't know what's wrong with him. Hip injuries are not good for wide receivers, though.
Especially if it's
if Detroit's not going to make Detroit's not making the playoffs, right?
No, they're not.
Yeah, I would just sit him the rest of the year.
Yeah, he's a free agent though. I think.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so
interesting. Speaking Wednesday, Coach Zach Taylor ruled Joe Mixon out for Week 14, but said there's a possibility he plays again this season.
Oh, great.
It's going to be Week 17.
That's when he's
Congratulations, Week 17 fantasy champion people.
You'll get Joe Mixon.
Yeah, it's so funny because if that does happen, do you even start him? I would just, I don't, why would you do that? Why would you bring him back? Just let him sit the rest of the season. At this point, you suck.
His Week 17 matchup is Baltimore.
Like, just let it go. Like, just put
or
him
play
on.
him now. Like what the Panthers doing with McCaffrey. Either play him now or just bench him the rest.
There's no point. There's no point to playing him.
Because he's playing Dallas this week.
If he comes in Week 17 and he plays, and that's the only game he plays the rest of the season, why? What's the point?
If he would have came back this week, he would have been a great start against Dallas. Yeah, but if they bring him back next week, you know who they're playing?
Who?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I'm not starting him.
No.
Are you starting him?
No, probably not. And then the final piece of news we have is Debo Samuel. He did not practice Wednesday. Wednesday. Yeah, he is. They need a new training staff over there in San Francisco. I'm telling you right now.
I think it's just bad luck
Debo
this
got
year.
hurt. George
Kittle.
Debo gets hurt every 5 minutes. George Kittle gets hurt at least twice a season. Nick Bosa got hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt every 5 minutes.
I think they have 17 guys who have been injured.
All of the running backs.
All of the running backs
got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say
some offensive linemen.
The San Francisco 49ers have a training staff problem.
And they're still like 5-7. And like they're not the worst team.
I hope they make the playoffs. And then Jimmy comes back and just boom, boom, boom all the way to the Super Bowl and gets smoked by Mahomes again.
Oh, don't put that on me.
Such a close game.
Don't remind me of that day.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. But anyway, that's the last piece of news. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, there we have it. Week 14 content is in the books. Hopefully you win your fantasy matchups. Hopefully you win your fantasy games and all that good stuff. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to check out our website, thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll talk to you on Tuesday, my friends.
See you Week 15.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.